60-65 crore people will be taking bath in this holy Kumbh, which is the combined population of Europe and USA. A combined population of Europe and USA is basically culminating in a tier 2 city like Prayagraj and doing holy Snan in Kumbh. This is the biggest national integration which is happening. So बहुत लोग बोलते हैं कि हमको मंदिर क्यों बनाने हैं, हमको कुंभ पे कैसे पैसे क्यों डालने हैं, हम क्यों सनातन धर्म पे इन्वेस्ट करें, हमें मठों ने क्या दिया है, मंदिर ने क्या दिया है, स्पिरिचुअल ऑर्डर ने क्या दिया है. दिस व्हाट दे से. मैं यहाँ पर आकर के मैं कुछ बोल ही नहीं पा रहा हूँ बिकॉज आज मैंने जो कुंभ का स्नान किया तो आई वॉज स्पीचलेस. मतलब देन आई केम टू नो कि दे आर 40 करोड़ पीपल लाइक मी हु हैव टेकन अ बाथ. कैन यू इमेजिन अ 40 करोड़ पीपल एंड वी हैव 20 more days to left. I mean 60-65 crore people will be taking bath in this holy Kumbh, which is the combined population of Europe and USA. A combined population of Europe and USA is basically culminating in a tier 2 city like Prayagraj and doing holy Snan in Kumbh. This is the biggest national integration which is happening. So बहुत लोग बोलते हैं कि हमको मंदिर क्यों बनाने हैं, हमको कुंभ पे कैसे पैसे क्यों डालने हैं, हम क्यों सनातन धर्म पे इन्वेस्ट करें, हमें मठों ने क्या दिया है, मंदिर ने क्या दिया है, स्पिरिचुअल ऑर्डर ने क्या दिया है. दिस व्हाट दे से. सो कुछ चीज़ें मैं आप लोग को बताना चाहता हूँ यहाँ पर, देन ओपनिंग माई डिस्कशन विद माई ऑनरेबल पैनलिस्ट. कुंभ में जब इस पर्टिकुलर गवर्नमेंट ने इन्वेस्ट किया था, उससे पहले उन्होंने सबसे ज़्यादा नंबर्स ऑफ मेडिकल आपकी यूनिवर्सिटीज़ बनाई थी, सबसे ज़्यादा नंबर्स ऑफ रोड्स बनाई थी, एक्सप्रेसवे बनाई थी. दे हैव created a very big infrastructure network before investing in the Kumbh. The largest numbers of airport has come in before this Kumbh. So obviously this is what the spirituality is all about. The Kumbh has given a lot of economic impetus to the local people and to the downtrodden. The Kumbh and Ram Mandir and other Sanatan events has created employment and actually boosted the local economy, apart from doing a cultural national integration. So, coming back to this topic, I would like to open the forum and I was very surprised to know that हमारी जो साध्वी जी है वो यूके से आती है. So, and she can speak such a nice Hindi. I was shocked when she was speaking Hindi. तो मैं ये पूछना चाहता हूँ उनको कि आप यूके से आपको कैसे आप यहाँ पर आ गए? What took you from UK? What took you मतलब आप इंडिया में वापस यहाँ पर कैसे आ गए? आप सनातन से कैसे जुड़ गए? And what is the story behind that? And how you think that the Math spirituality and Mandir basically resonated with the masses?
ये बहुत बड़े प्रश्न है और मैं कोशिश करूँगी संक्षिप्त में करना है क्योंकि इसमें लगभग एक पूरा पुस्तक है. पर सबसे पहले मेरी शिक्षा हो रहा था विदेश में और नौकरी भी कर रहे थे और मैंने समृद्धि और समाज को जो सभी लोग चाहते हैं जीवन में ये तो पा चुकी थी, पर अंदर से मैं एकदम रिक्त लग रही थी, खाली. मुझे खुश नहीं थे, संतुष्ट नहीं थी और इस कारण से एक मित्र कहा कि हमारी मेडिटेशन ग्रुप में आइए. इस कारण से मैं वही गया और उस रात मेरी पूरे जीवन का परिवर्तन हुआ. ध्यान में आंख बंद करती हुए बिना कोई शब्द मैं जान रही थी कि यही हमारे जीवन का यात्रा है. मैं इसके लिए जन्म लिया है और मैं यही खोज रही थी पूरे जीवन में. एग्जैक्टली क्या था मुझे नहीं पता उस समय, पर मैं जान रही थी कि अंदर से पूर्णता का अनुभव था, आनंद के अनुभव था, इसमें दर्शन भी हो रहा था, जिससे मुझे कोई प्रश्न नहीं था। और कुछ हफ्ते के बाद धीरे धीरे मुझे पता लगे कि ये लोग सनातन धर्म का परंपरा है और हिंदू हैं। तो सबसे पहले मैं समझ आ रही थी कि हिंदू है क्या। मैं समझ आ रही थी हिंसायाः दूयते यस्य हृदयम् इति स हिंदू, हिंसायाः दूयते यस्य चित्तम इति स हिंदू। मतलब कि जो हिंसा मन से, दिल से, बुद्धि से दूर रहते हैं उनसे कहते हैं हिंदू। फिर मैंने पतंजलि योग दर्शन पढ़ने लगी थी और फिर हमारे गुरुजी हमको भारत लेके आए थे। और पहले रात एक हफ्ते आने से पहले गुरुजी ने कहा था कि कितने दिन आप रहोगे, और मैंने कहा था 1 साल का वीज़ा है, 1 साल का टिकट है, फिर देखेंगे। पर हमारी पहले रात हरिद्वार आश्रम में बैठे हुए मेरे मुंह से निकाला था जब गुरुजी ने पूछा कि कब तक रहोगे, मैंने कहा 10 साल, फिर देखेंगे। गुरुजी से अलावा मैं किसी को भारत में नहीं जान रही थी और मैं केवल अपने गुरु और सनातन धर्म साधना के लिए आई थी, क्योंकि मैं जान रही थी कि यही सत्य मार्ग है। अगर किसी को शांति पाना है जीवन में, ये भारतीय संस्कृति की परंपरा से चलना है। फिर संस्कृत पढ़ने लगी थी, जैसे मैं समझ आ रही थी कि भारत में प्रकाशेन युक्तः भायाम रचयति भारतम, मतलब कि जो प्रकाश से जोड़ा है इसे कहते हैं भारत। तो ये भौगोलिक शब्द नहीं है, ये संपूर्ण विश्व के लिए हैं। ये संस्कृति जो संस्कार समाज से पा जाते हैं और जो विद्या से जोड़ा है, आत्मज्ञान से जोड़ा है, मैं जान रही थी कि सभी लोग को ये चाहिए। और सबसे बड़ी महिमा है अपने मत और संप्रदाय और मंदिर का संस्कार है, क्योंकि अगर मत और संप्रदाय नहीं होता तो मैं कैसे जानकारी पाऊंगी, ये साधनाशाला विदेश में कैसे चलेगा। हमारे गुरु के द्वारा शिष्यों ने साधनाशाला रखा था विदेश में, जो हर हफ्ते चलते थे। इस कारण से हमको रास्ता मिला लाइफ में, जैसे मैं अपने जीवन को सुधार सकते थे, सत्य मार्ग पर चल सकते थे। और इतना आनंद पाया इसमें, हम खुद ही अंदर से इच्छा रखा था कि गुरु का स्थापना करवाना, आश्रम का स्थापना करवाना है मेरे गुरु जी के नाम से। तो यही अपनी भारतीय संस्कृति का महिमा है कि केवल भारत में नहीं पर संपूर्ण विश्व में ये एकता ला सकते हैं ब्रह्मांड के लिए। इसलिए हम लोग संस्था में कहते एकत्वम अनुपश्यता। हम लोग अलग अलग देश से आ सकते हैं, अलग अलग परिवार से आ सकते हैं, पर अंत में हम लोग समझना है कि एक ही चीज़ है और ये अंदर है और ये अंदर से बाहर व्यक्त करना है। और जब ऐसे होगा तो सभी लोग को सत्य पहचानेंगे।
एक्सेलेंट मैम, एक्सेलेंट। आई मीन एक्सेलेंट, बहुत अच्छा डेफिनेशन दिया आपने। मैं अब इस संवाद को आगे बढ़ाते हुए श्रीमान जी से आई वुड लाइक टू आस्क हाउ you think the impact of the Kumbh and Ram Mandir to Indians socially, culturally, economically and spiritually?
This Maha Kumbh is a Maha Yajna that is happening. And if we consider it, historically this has happened many times over and over again in this Prayagraj Kshetra. But that is not taught in our schools because that's a Eurocentric education that is taught. Europe, Christianized Europe was in dark ages. But not Bharat or the other ancient civilizations. When we study Columbus discovered America, I was discussing in Berkeley with Navajos, Hopis. They had such rich knowledge, knowledge-informed culture. Similarly, Maoris of the New Zealand or Australians had deep knowledge-oriented cultures. Mayans, Machu Picchu, Peru, deep knowledge-oriented cultures. I was talking to Egyptians, young people, whose historical syllabus does not include the pyramids because it's Islamic history. That's where it's important to understand that here, the history that is taught in our schools and colleges do not include the 55 Mahayajnas conducted by Raja Bharat or the 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas conducted by Bhagavan Shri Ram. Ayodhya Nagari is described as that which is 12 yojanas by 3 yojanas. One yojana roughly about 13 kilometers. If you do the math, it would come to more than 6,000 square kilometer area, which is much larger than current day New Delhi. And completely well organized, so well organized that even now we have this phrase Ram Rajya, to good governance. And that's what we see happening here, where more than 50 crore people coming here, everyone has food. Everyone is taken care of. This is not a sign of poverty. Such diversity, everybody is accommodated. And this is not new. This is a historical tradition. That's why when we say culture, it's important to understand that culture is the best practices of an entire civilization that is available to each and every individual. So the civilizational best practices are not easy to achieve. For example, the West does not have such civilizational best practices, where crores of people coming together, self-organized, not policed around, not pushed around. Amrit ji jo baat keh rahe the, it was very heartening. The administration is very, very sensitive to the needs of the individual. And the individual feels empowered coming here. They come here to gain wealth. What kind of wealth? Here, the sadhu sannyasis are considered wealthy. Those who walk barefoot are considered wealthy. Those who are on vrata ahara are considered wealthy. Those who can bear the cold are considered wealthy. Those who can take snan in North Indian winter are considered wealthy. So the values are flipped. Those who hoard are not considered wealthy. So you can see this inner wealth is what provides for the unity. When just outer material wealth is pursued, it provides for differentiation. It provides for even economic differentiation. Here you would see the vrata ahara, mostly what you would find is murmura, poha, roasted channa, roasted groundnut, and encompassing full nutrition. Modern nutrition cannot analyze it this way. This is simple sand roasted. You will find this is accessible to rural folks, to urban folks. A rural vendor can just walk in and set up shop and earn wealth. But they cannot afford an address in a business district. That is very expensive. But they are empowered economically. That way, the wealth is shared with the entire population without the state giving it as a gift. There is so much dignity in this yajna karma. And this is not taught This has to be taught. And this is historical in nature. This is our history. Clearly our history. Bhagavan Shri Ram, the principles of Ramarajya are clearly enunciated. What is the problem with this? Why should it be called mythology just because of the doctrine of Christian discovery that empowered Christianized European nations to discover the entire world and discover it as their own? Where the papal bull announced that any Christian can claim any land or waterway or any wealth or knowledge as their own. And that's how Christianized European nations conquered, colonized North America, South America, Asia, Africa, Australia, and still we suffered from a colonized history, colonized mindset. In the Prayagraj Kshetra, you will not find that. It's a decolonized mindset. This is culture, civilizational best practices that inform each one of us, that we can ride on, that everyone can benefit from, and participate wholeheartedly in unity. Not a imposed homogeneous unity, but coming to seek inner wealth. Our Paramaguru, I belong to the Siddha Sampradaya. Our ashram is located near Palani in Tamil Nadu. Palani is very famous for Bhagavan Kartikeya or Murugan. We belong to the Kaumaram tradition. So our Paramaguru, Agasthyar, the Kashi Tamil Changamam that is happening, this year's theme is Agasthyar. Agasthyar is such a great personage, a rishi, who has united north and south of Bharat. And as a mutt or as a spiritual institution, you would see very interestingly when we talk of spiritual or religious institution, we again refer to the West. But here, the kind of knowledge that is shared when he addressed the economics, the societal aspect, the cultural aspects, all of these come from the religious institutions. The kind of knowledge that you find in Agasthyar's work in Tamil or in Sanskrit are spiritual, ethical values oriented, politics, political sciences, Artha Shastra, Niti Shastra, Dharma Shastra, science of economics is there. And not just that, space sciences are there. No less than space sciences, where he describes Guligai, mercurial preparations to be able to travel into space. So this kind of focus is where we see the unification that is inherent here is not automatic. This is riding on the knowledge that is Bharat.
Excellent, sir. Excellent. I mean, I just want to know one more thing, which is very important to the professor, sir. My question is towards the... I mean, recent report has actually given a projection of 60 crore people will be taking dip in the Holy Kumbh. It will add almost 0.5% of the GDP in India. It is going to generate almost 3 lakh crore of business. Even a Ram Mandir has, after the creation of Ram Mandir, Ayodhya has actually attracted a 40,000 crore worth of private investments. So when the people say that, भाई आप मंदिर तो jobs create नहीं करता है, आप क्यों मंदिर बना रहे हो? So that is one point I would like to say. What is your view economically on this particular field? And secondly, socially also, I have seen very distinct thing. I have seen India's richest man, Gautam Adani, was taking a holy bath, and just beside him, a Naga sadhu was taking a holy bath. So class divide was completely erased. Then I saw all the people from different castes. They were taking holy bath. They went as a Rajput, they went as a Brahmin, they went as a Dalit, they went as a scheduled caste, scheduled tribe. But when they took the holy bath, they came out as a Hindu, as a Sanatani. So don't you think this kind of events give not only give economic boost to the region, but also they are a melting point of the entire melting point of all the diverse caste and diverse classes.
Thank you, Rishiji. Rishiji, actually, if we look into things, after it's the post-mercantile, post-capitalistic, post-industrial revolution era, the definitions and the parameters have been on the scale of economics, and presently, like, we are too much into it. We had the kumbhs and we had the temples earlier also. They were built, and when in those days nobody questioned the constructions of the beautiful temples. When Huinsang visited this place, when Harsh Mahan was the king, emperor, there was a kumbh and there was a lot of charity. We know about that he would give everything away, as his sister would then borrow from his sister. Look, we had charitable kings, we had charitable shrestans, business people, and the whole idea in our concept is that we are human beings. We are not above anybody, we are equal to all. That is why it was never strange for us to be bathing in a river along with the others, because we had this sense of equality. When we can find such equalness in each soul, we find even life in vegetation and even in a stone. And we go that it will be everywhere, life is pervading, God is everywhere. So we never had this idea. Now, as you said, what is told these days, they're trying to calculate whether the investment in a temple or in a kumbh is a wasteful expenditure. I think they have not understood anything. I feel sorry for their understanding. What a great amount of turnover to all the small and big business houses a kumbh would generate. They cannot even measure, they cannot even calculate. Even a person who is selling vegetables or tea also has a hope when there is a mela in a village. This is kumbh. When there is a small festival anywhere, so many classes get supported because the rituals and the religion makes it obligatory. It has divided a role for each community to participate, whether it is the gardener or a basket maker or a person who is making certain type of dishes, a potter. So this has been the system in our society, and we had interdependence, interrelationships. Now, if we had a temple built, the temple was not just serving the purposes of religion. It used to be the place where even decisions of the day were taken. People would go with their problems and things were sorted out. They would swear by in front of the deity, and a lot of litigations and things would never happen beyond that point of time. So we always had a point where we could offload our guilts, offload our depressions, offload our whatever tensions that we had, and come back to life, join others, and be happy again. I think if somebody takes this task, when Ram Mandir is built, not only the Mandir is built, the whole sentiment, those who have not visited Ayodhya, or maybe you said 60 crore would be here, but then another 60 crore would be in their mind willing to come. They would be bathing in their own homes and thinking that they are in the kumbh. So we are joined by that spirit. We are discovering the Virat Swarup of the nation. भगवान का जो विराट स्वरूप जो है, उसका आप इसी में अवलोकन कर सकते हैं. These are several souls together and several in all the places joined together. I feel that this questioning such things is absurdities. Rishi ji, क्या हुआ है? Like I have seen those years when we were small children, because I am old. We had faith in us. Then during a gap of period, I find that we were just giving only questions and doubts to our children. to the generation that grew. You are a young person. You might have grown in those days when you just got only no solutions from the elders, only doubts and questions. So they've lost the way. But I'm happy to see that this present generation is now coming back because they want solutions. They don't want questions and these irritable questions which have no meaning. I think that to build temples, we must carry on building temples because that is giving us, they are basically the reminders and repositories. When there's a mutt, it gives you discipline, it gives you unity, it teaches the lessons of service, it teaches the lessons of like service to others as well as considering that community is more important than an individual. We had too much of individualism over the years, of which we have not been able to make ourselves as, cannot master us as a human being, and we try to be an individualist. How can it be? First we must master ourselves, then only we can be an individual who can assert anywhere.
Excellent, sir. Excellent. You have summed up the thing excellently. I would again come back to Sadhvi ji, but we don't have time. I would like request it. Can you give a very quick answer or quick definition to the spirituality?
If I start with Dharma, Yato abhyudaya tato Dharma. That which uplifts you is called Dharma. This is the beauty of Sanatan Dharma, that if something is uplifting you, it doesn't push another down. It brings everybody up together. Because we all have the same mountain to climb via different pathways. And they say that there's one truth, ekam satyam bahuda vipraha vidanti, that there's many different paths, and that's the beauty of the spirituality, that ultimately we have to know ourselves to know the ultimate reality. We have to find peace in ourselves to bring world peace. We have to know the truth to be aware of what untruth is. That's why the great prayer, Asito ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyoti gamaya, mrityo ma amritam gamaya. This is why we are all in Kumbh, to realize that Amrit for ourselves. And that is the journey of our life. And that, I think, sums up spirituality and the purpose of life, to be free from delusion. Moha se mukta iti moksha.
Excellent, ma'am. Shriman, I was reading about the temples earlier, and the temple used to be the part of the city center. The city was built around the temple. They were the part of the most, what do you call, they were the community center. All the weddings and all the auspicious ceremony used to held there. Actually, they were also what you call a dharamshala, where the visiting monks used to stay there. So why can't we make the temples like that again? Like, why can't we allow the like religious marriages in the temple? Like, most of the temple doesn't allow marriages in many of the places. So why can't they go to the wedding banquet or somewhere else? So why can't we allow all the auspicious ceremony taking place in the temple, so that to basically foster the bonding among the people out there?
Rishiji, you have touched upon a very important point. If we look at the temples, temples are the hub and spoke of Bharat's cultural continuity. That's why they have been targeted. And that's why there is a hue and cry when a temple is revived, like Ayodhya or Kashi, Mathura. And that's where now the focus is. While if we touch that, everything is revived, as you rightly said. If we just do a back of the envelope calculations, you'll get to see how significant it is in terms of economics and social cohesion. There are more than 6 lakh villages in India. And each village, let's say, have about 5 temples. You have more than 30 lakh temples across the nation. This is not including the towns and the cities. which all put together, we can safely assume about 50 lakh, temples. Each temple generates, let's say, 1 lakh rupees per annum. You will hit a humongous number of 50 lakh, which is how many crores? 50 lakh is at least 11 zeros. That would be the per year income from just temples. But this science is not taught in our universities. There are no programs, formal systems of learning to address this most important employment generator. If you look at the number of people covered through this process, this would touch at least, say, each temple, 10 people. You will have 50 lakh into 10. At least 5 crore individuals, 5 crore families. If you expand it, it touches at least 20 crore to 30 crore people. There is no government employment of this scale in this country or anywhere in this world. And this is not taught. That's the tragedy. So you would see that it is an employment generator. It is an economic process. It gives meaningful life to everybody. And more important than anything else, now the whole world suffers from mental health pandemic. That's everywhere. Stress, anxiety, depression is everywhere. It's sad to hear that. And that can be addressed with the bhakti bhava through the temple process. So, all in all, as you have rightly said, temples, if we can touch and make them continue, you would see the revival of Bharat. And that positions it as a Vishwaguru that can serve the entire world, taking the world forward for everybody to live well.
I mean, I was being told that TCS employs 8 lakh people in their offices, various offices. And Kumbh has created a employment generation of around about 20 lakhs. So one Kumbh is equivalent to almost 2.5 TCS. So we definitely need TCS, but we also need an event like Kumbh. So how you are going to put this, that the more religious events like Kumbh or Ram Mandir or any other gatherings create jobs, create a social harmony, create a social upliftment, because I can see a lot of people from the downtrodden society are actually doing a lot of business out here, and they are making a good, decent amount of living from this kind of events.
Thank you very much. I would say that the two different models that I would say. We are following the model which is a constructive model. We have a Kumbh, we have religious assemblies, we have samagams, we have religious gatherings. And in the West, they have wars. They generate money out of wars. We are generating money out of peace. If you look into the two aspects, it's not just like, of course, there's a very good example that you mentioned about the TCS. It is not just a religious congregation. It is a cultural and a social. And now you see, as you have organized, this is a cultural Kumbh. We interact with each other. We sit together. We dine together. We meet each other. So this is a social opportunity which we never get over years of time. And particularly with a framework in our minds, already the mindset is somewhere that we look at each other not as strangers. I think nobody would be locking the door. Nobody is like thinking that somebody would take away my shoes and my chappals and my clothes. There's a faith amongst ourselves. We don't look another person who is a foreigner. This is the whole attitude. With this mindset when we are meeting, I think it's the most healthy relationship. It's a camp of something which very good ideas percolate amongst us. We go back with very good memories. So the financial gains, the economic gains of course, it is tremendous. And I am sure that you will, in the papers and magazines, this would be reported. But I feel anybody who has been here, even the young and the old sitting here, they would have a different mindset and a happiness that would be lingering in their minds. उनको याद रहेगा कि हम किस किस को मिले थे, कहाँ मिले थे, और ये जो एक परिचय बनता है, ये जिस भावात्मक परिचय बनता है, जो हमारा भाईचारे का परिचय बनता है, ये और कोई समाज और कोई समागम आपको नहीं दे सकता. वो एक धार्मिक और ऐसा सांस्कृतिक समागम ही दे सकता है. थैंक यू
जी. प्रोफेसर साहब ने एकदम बहुत ही सही बताया कि ये बातें एक ऐसी हमारे कुंभ कल्चर ही पैदा कर सकती है, ये बता सकती है, ये दुनिया को ये दिखा सकती है कि कैसे हमारे बड़े बड़े जो धार्मिक अनुष्ठान हैं वो हमारे देश के लिए, हमारे सोसाइटी के लिए और हमारे हिंदुइज़्म के लिए कितने इम्पोर्टेंट है. और इसी बात पे मैं इस डिस्कशन को यहीं समाप्त करूँगा. थैंक यू.